Everybody, Jesse the Black, we're calling us out. Hey, Luke's with me. We got a couple yards to mow, and then they got to do a mulch job. It's kind of like a cleanup, some mulch. There's a little spot in their yard where they want some seed. It's a little bit of trimming, so a little bit of everything. We're gonna go ahead and get started, but before I get started on this, I had a problem with my equipment defender racks. And as soon as I called them yesterday. Hey, they customer service, they overnight, well, they didn't overnight ship. It was a 2-day shipping, so the part's going to be here tomorrow. But, so I'm not talking negative about Equipment Defender. Things happen. I've worked in manufacturing for 11 years, so I know exactly what it is. But what I'll show you happened on the mounting base of the Equipment Defender racks. There was no weld on one side, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. We're getting a little bit late start because I got to weld this up. I took all this stuff out. It's kind of blurry. Took all this stuff out. See, if you look down here, there's no penetration around here. And look at the base of the mounting thing. There was just 2 tack welds holding it up. How I noticed it yesterday when I was driving, and I kept hearing it rattle, because nothing fell forward because I had them other brackets pushed up against it, and I looked down and I started to take my trimmers off, and it was kind of like slightly shifted, you know what I mean? So my trimmers weren't really coming out like they're supposed to, and I looked at, and it was just, you can feel it move. You can move it like back and forth, wiggle it. I'm like, what in the world? So I looked down, and that was completely off the base. Now, like I'm saying, I called Equipment Defender. I talked to the guy, I can't remember his name. Immediately answered the phone. I didn't have to wait. He got my information, and I emailed him some pictures, let him know what's going on. These are robotically welded. And what I told, he was kind of confused on. I said, man, I was a welder for a couple years. I said, I've seen robotic welders from Arc World to Moto Man. It probably got to the end of the barrel, and before the tech could get to it, one of them slipped by. That happens, but you can see the other one is fine. I'll show you the other one. Well, it's not a really good bead, but it's got a small bead around it. I'm sure it has good penetration. I'm not going to take it apart. Like I said, I'm not going to take it apart and do a weld test or a pry test on it or anything. But what I am going to do is he is going to send me a replacement part. But I don't plan on these racks leaving this trailer anyhow. So I'm just going to put my own welds on here. And like I said, I can't stress this enough. I like Equipment Defender. I like the fact that whenever I leave, I can lock my blower up, I can lock my trimmers up, and I can walk into Menards, I can walk into Home Depot, I can walk into the store, I can walk into Dollar General. Who knows? I can walk into wherever I want, and I don't have to worry about no shady characters walking off with any of my stick equipment. But I just want to let you know, this happened to me. If you do have a problem, there's no reason that you can't call Equipment Defender and they take care of you. That guy took care of me real quick, and I just let him know from the jump, hey, I'm not being accusatory. But, I mean, they took care of me. They got a part coming, but that part's just going to sit over in my inventory. That weld should have been so strong that it ripped the floorboards out of this trailer before it ever broke. That's how strong that weld should be. But I'm going to weld this up. I'm not talking bad about it. Man, these yards are really wet this morning. We had a rain yesterday. I mean, look at this. Man. God. Walk away from it. So. this block here. Getting rid of all that block. I'm gonna trim these up, weed eat this, mulch that. And this area right here, I'm just gonna kind of tear it up. Tear this up a little bit and then put some sod and stuff back here. Let's see. This is gonna be mulch. And I believe these are, I think these are rhododendrons. I'm not 100% sure. But I'm gonna mulch them behind it and kind of just trim them up just a little bit off. Like when she mows, she just wants a couple turned up, but she likes it high because of privacy, which makes sense. All right, where they had the old, where they just kept stacking. You can see they had brown mulch, black mulch, red mulch. So where we took these bricks out, we're taking all of it down and regrading all this. Kind of, don't pack that too heavy, you won't be able to move it, remember? Yeah, well, all right. So we're regrading this now. We should be done here shortly, and then we'll be starting to throw some mulch. The whole bed's about full. That's probably 2 cubic yards of just bed prep, dirt, other stuff. So chances are we're not going to be able to get all this done. Luke's getting started on throwing some mulch and spreading it. I have to come back and edge it. These edges are really overgrown, but man, it's only 5, so got a couple more hours to see what we can do. It's just, man, it's been one of them days. Opens that up a lot prettier. Still got some privacy. See, you're getting good at it. And then run it all the way down. Looking good. Hey, Luke's gym teacher sent all the kids an email. They said that they have to do, what was it, Luke? 3 hours?
3 days of
3 days, how long? Half hour or something?
a video of one of his workouts or whatever. I don't know.
They have to do, for physical education, they have to email them a video 3 days a week of them like exercising or doing some sort of workout. That's how gym class is being done right now. But I guess landscaping all day, mowing all day, and running a weed eater for 6-7 hours straight, I guess that doesn't count. That doesn't count as physical education. Hey, that's about as blue collar, life of hard knocks, real life education as you'll ever get. He's learned, getting his education, getting his business class courses in. I guess that don't count. This area is next. That's to be done tomorrow. We'll pop these out tomorrow. We'll finish this. And we'll be out of here. Oh. And along that side there, up top there. Right down in there. I gotta tear that up. And put a little bit of seed, then we'll be good. So, all right, we're out of here. Sorry about hearing your face. We're out of here. Keep hustling, keep grinding, man. Keep chasing dreams. He's learning a little more every day, so he's doing pretty good. We'll see you guys later. Yeah, what a day. What a long day. I just got a phone call. Well, actually, I got a phone call the other day about a guy wanting me to, here in my hometown, he wanted me to come check his house out and take a walk around, look at it. But it's your average city lot, which is cool. He'll fit right into my Plymouth route. But which is weird, I haven't been back in this part of town in years, like a lot of years. Actually, let me show you something. This big open area right here used to be a house, And it used to be my dad's house. And this right here used to be my Uncle Mike's house years ago. And we used to run this little neighborhood. And this used to run all the way up. We had a barn back there that's tore down now too. I was kind of poking around back there. And that used to be James Fletcher's place. And then the Isaacs used to live here. Everything has just changed a lot, which that's just kind of part of it. It's just been a long time, very nostalgic to kind of come back here. It's been a long time since I've been back here. So I'll add him to the list. That's pretty nice. Man. And what's cool about when we were younger back here, which I didn't really, let me put you on this thing, which I didn't really understand what like people would talk, like I understand it now because it was the same way when I lived down south. Man, it's down here, it's one way in, one way out. And if people don't recognize your cars, you got a problem. People's gonna follow you around, find out what you're doing. But if you don't belong back here, and it's like not a nice part of town, but like you don't know that stuff growing up. You know? It is, you know what I mean? It is what it is. And but it was the same way. It was the same way whenever I lived in, well, not Kentucky, in Ironton. When I lived in Ironton, it was the same way. Back in the holler, it was one way in, one way out in that holler. And Kayla's family owns a big piece of land up on a big hill back here. And if people didn't recognize your vehicles, you know, you had a problem. If you was back here messing around, see what down there, and the same thing up here, they had problem with people going back to these dead end spots and like doing drugs and stealing stuff. So here and down there, law enforcement, there's nothing, you know, you gotta take care of yourselves, you know. But it was just really nostalgic being back in there, and